All right, today we are working on PO9. I can multiply and divide integers and fractions. So let's fill in our table like we did yesterday. Reviewing how to multiply and divide integers and fractions. So keep in mind when we take the test, remember I said it's going to be next week, Tuesday. So when we take the test, you will not be able to use a calculator on the test, but you can use one now to check your answers. Just know you're not going to have the calculator on the test. So don't do the calculator first right now. Make sure you're understanding how to do the multiplying and dividing with your pencil and paper, because that's all you're going to have for the test. So integers. Positive times or divided by a positive is going to have what kind of an answer? Positive. Positive and a positive equals a positive. Positive times or divided by a negative would be what kind? Negative answer. Negative times or divided by a positive would give us what kind of an answer?
Positive.
A negative times or divided by a positive. Negative, because they are different symbols. So positive, negative is a negative. Negative, positive is a negative. Negative and a negative is a positive. Caitlin.
So it's basically both the same kind of number, like positive and positive and negative. It's a positive, it's a difference, and then negative.
Correct. If they are the same, it's a positive. Doesn't matter if it's a positive positive or a negative negative. Same means positive. Different means negative. So it could be different either way. Different with a negative than a positive, or a positive and then a negative. They're different. Difference is negative. Usually I like to say we celebrate our differences, and differences are wonderful, and negative just sounds like a bad word, but we know it's just related to the number line. So same is positive, different is negative. So pretty much, as we're looking at our sheet of what to do here, it's not going to be that complicated. So multiply or divide, and then you figure out what the symbol is going to be. So look at your numbers, look at your operation, and then put the number down for your answer, and then figure out your symbol. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that is a great question. What does the parentheses mean? If we have a number right outside of a parentheses, what operation are we doing? Paisley? No. Nathan? Multiply. So if you are right outside of that parentheses, it is the same as saying multiply. Okay, so that's a really good thing to know as we're getting into the algebra. If whether it is a parentheses or if it's a variable, anything that's right next to each other like that means you multiply them. Cool.
The 3 and is that negative 11? Negative 3 and a negative, yeah.
Yes, this is negative 3.
Negative.
What's the operation there? Multiply. So negative 3 multiplied by negative 11.
Would be 30.
So 3 times 11 is 33. Negative times a negative makes it a positive. So I think you guys can do that work on your own. Let's look down to what it says about fractions. To multiply fractions, if necessary, convert mixed numbers. So if you have a mixed number, you need to make it improper. Then you multiply straight across. To divide, if necessary, convert mixed numbers. So make them improper. Then you can use cross products. flip the second fraction, so you find the reciprocal and multiply across. So you can always find cross products to simplify before you multiply, right? So you can simplify first and then multiply, so you don't have to simplify at the end. So let's see what that means. Multiply or divide. A lot of us still keep forgetting when it says in simplest form, we truly mean it. And it will be wrong on the test if it's not in the simplest form. So always, always, always check to see, is there something I can divide out? Yes. Let's do the first one together. -10/9 times 3/5. So some of us remember how to cross simplify. If I look at that 3 and the 9, is there something I can divide out? Nathan?
3.
I can divide a 3 out of both of those. What about the 10 and the 5? Is there something I can divide out, Leah? I can divide a 5 out of both of those. So 10 divided by 5 is a 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Times 3 divided by 3 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 2/3 times 1 equals 2/3. Yes.
Sorry, did you have step for step?
Gabby, can you collect all the same stuff for him? He's gonna need everything, even from his locker.
I
Yeah.
took, I
Okay.
had locked, but I didn't know that.
Perfect. Yep, thank
Oh,
you.
there's the picture.
Yep. Okay, so that's doing it cross simplifying. Some of us remembered how to cross simplify from last year. If you're not comfortable with cross simplifying, you can just multiply and then simplify at the end. You multiply straight across. 10 times 3 is 30. 9 times 5 is 45. And then I need to simplify. What is the greatest common factor of 30 and 45? What do you think the greatest common factor is? Garrison?
2/3.
What do you think the greatest common factor is?
I thought you said the. Oh, the great. I can't think. Sorry, I didn't know.
That's okay, cool.
Have 3? No.
Okay, so we know a 3 can go into both 30 and 45. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Can I get even smaller? I can get smaller. What can I divide out now, Cole?
5.
I can divide a 5 out now. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. It's that same 2/3 that we had from cross simplifying. It doesn't matter if you simplify first with the cross simplifying or if you simplify at the end. What matters is that you get the smallest answer. Now, here's the question. Is this going to be a positive or negative? You can't just do the math. We also have to look at, is it positive or negative? What should it be, Caitlin?
Negative.
Negative. So make sure at the end you check to see what the signs were. There was a negative and a positive, so our answer is going to be negative. Thank you, Gavin. Let's look at our dividing. -5/5 divided by -7/11. What's my first step going to be? What should I do when I'm dividing?
We should have the same
No, we don't need common denominators when we add or subtract. When we multiply or divide. That is only for adding and subtracting. So what do I do when I'm dividing fractions, Leah? Multiply the reciprocal. So my -5/5 stays the same. I want to flip my dividing to multiplying. And if I flip that, I have to flip my second fraction to the reciprocal. I can't cross simplify this one. So I'm going to multiply across. 5 times 11 is 55. 5 times 7 is 35. Can I simplify that? what can I divide out of 55 and 35? 5. So 55 divided by 5 is 11. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Is it going to be a positive or a negative? Well, first, I'm not going to leave it at 11/7. That's improper. Oh, Miss Dodson does not want improper. How can I make that proper? What would it be? Charlotte? How many times can I take a 7 out of the 11? Once. What do I have left over? If I take 7 out, I'm left with 4, and then our denominator stays the same. So is that going to be a positive or a negative, Charlotte? I have negative divided by a negative, so it's going to be positive. So my final answer will be a positive. Any questions about how to do this? Remember, when you come to those mixed numbers, make them improper. So when you come to mixed numbers, make them improper. Do either the multiplying or the dividing, and then simplify. Make them proper and simplify. Any questions on this? All right, let me stop the recording.